My name is Meg. I've been using the World Spirit Tarot deck for more than 10 years now. And I have to say it's my go-to deck for a variety of reasons. Um, I think one of the things that people will notice about it right away is that it is incredibly inclusive. It was very much ahead of its time in terms of racial and gender and ethnic inclusivity. It incorporates cultural images from a variety of different cultures. So it really is appealing to a lot of different people in a way that many decks of that period weren't. And I think you see that more with decks today, but it was kind of a forefront in that arena, which is really impressive. Personally, I really love the deck because I feel like it is incredibly intuitive and easy to work with. I've owned a lot of decks over my time reading, and a lot of times I'll get one because I find it, it's particularly beautiful, and then when I get it home and start working with it, I can't connect with it at all. And I've never had an easier time connecting with a deck than I have with the World Spirit. I think it's partially the way that it's created. It's got a very organic feeling to it. It's very holistic and earthy, so it works with my energy in that way. But in addition to that, it builds on the Rider-Waite standards and then takes it to a new level. So the layout is familiar if you're, started like most people did with a Rider-Waite deck, but at the same time, it incorporates a lot of imagery that helps you interpret the card and find both the light and shadow of the card. Another thing that I really love about this deck is that even from the back of the deck, and this is the old deck, I'm getting a new one, but from the back you can tell there's a strong balance of light and shadow, which I've always really appreciated. I think a lot of people are intimidated by tarot readings because they're afraid to get a bad card, they're afraid to get the Tower or Death or the Devil. And one of the things that Ansa told me when she was first teaching me how to use her deck is, some people cut those out of their decks entirely because they intimidate people, but everything in life has a light and a shadow. You can't have the sunshine of your life without having those bad experiences. Those are what help you to grow. And her cards almost always, even when they're, dark or intimidating card, a card you didn't want to pull, a card about heartbreak or failure or being overwhelmed, there's almost always something in there to pull from that brings you joy. There's always a gift in the card, in addition to any kind of dark message or, foreboding. And I have to say that in terms of interpretation, the book that came with this deck is just incredibly good to read. It's all the cards are well described. She helps explain the symbolism that she incorporates into the deck. She also provides a very thorough interpretation that allows for enough open space for you to pull your own intuitive feeling into it, but gives you a strong foundation. I use this interpretation, this book, even when I'm using other decks, because I have found it to be very helpful to me in understanding the underlying meaning of the card beyond your basic, internet response when you Google a card. It gives you a pretty layout formula, whereas the book that comes with this deck has always been really exceptionally good at helping me pull the meaning, not just of the card, but of the card within the situation, which is a rare quality in a tarot deck book. So I can't say enough good about this deck. And absolutely, and the artwork is just really beautiful, like I just pulled Temperance just now. And again, it's got multiple cultural influences. It's everything in it is intentional. It's a very thoughtful deck. So even with just this card, the fact that one foot is in the water and one is on the land, the flowers, the choice of the orchids. I believe that everything in it has significance because the artist put a lot of thought into each and every card. So I really appreciate that as both an artist myself and as somebody who enjoys the tarot.